just stand in the name of Jesus. I just have a few things to say to you tonight. So 9:30 ought to get you out of here. Just easy. Just easy. My voice ain't gonna last from 9 to 9:30. I guarantee you. Amen. I said some things. Thank you guys. I appreciate you, David. Lisa and Matthew. Thank you. And Doris, thank you. We're here. That was quick. She was translated. I didn't see her. Amen. You must have walked off when I walked off. Amen. But thank you for all your help and your hard work. Before I get started, we didn't have a chance. I missed 2 weeks of December, and I apologize for that. But and it was well worth the trip for me. And I apologize that you guys didn't get to go. But it was. 2 weeks in Israel was an amazing time. But I did miss 2 weeks. And so I didn't get to thank all of our workers and everybody. I didn't get to set up our dinner and our thank you dinner and all that stuff and for all of our staff and workers. But I want you to know how much I appreciate you. And I want you to, and I'll just tell you in front of everybody, and then I'll probably say it again Sunday. But I want you to know how much I appreciate everything that you guys do. We couldn't do this without you. But there's no way that we could go get all the kids that we go get without Heike and Kim and Stacy and Becky and whoever else goes. Becky jump-started the band today, or Brooke did, somebody did. And Kim texted me or called me, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, could you come help us out? By the time I got outside, they already had it going. And so, just stuff like that. And all of our deacons and elders and what you guys do and putting up with me in the office for, almost every Sunday morning. And I appreciate you and allowing me to dream. I appreciate a church that allows me to dream and try to reach those dreams. Amen? Can I just share with you for just a minute that when we dream and we have dreams and we look outside the box, the devil hates that. Yeah. Are you guys cold?
Yes.
Okay, well, because it's like heat, like right here, like blasting my face, like I'm in a mission of hell. And so I just didn't know if, I don't know if you guys understand this, but the devil hates dreamers. I could prove to you that with Joseph. The devil tried to kill him, but it turned out to be for the good of God. And I'm a dreamer. I believe that God inspires dreamers. I believe that God places a dream in your heart, and you must go after it or die. A dreamer is just simply a person that if you don't go after the dream that God places in your heart, you'll die. And I just let you know that God has placed such a dream in my heart for this place and for you. And I can't do this without you guys. But I need you guys to be together. I need you to be together. I need you to hang tight with each other. I need you to listen, if we're going to go to where we need to go, then we got to get there together. Amen? We can't go separately. We can't go in our own car, our own van. One thing that always bugged me about this church is everybody wants to drive their own car. We're going to the same place. Everyone wants to drive separate. You know what that means? That means that you don't like each other. Let's just be honest. Can we just be honest? Oh, well, I might need to go shop. No, you don't want to ride with them. Let's just be straight up.
Come on now.
Is that too plain, or is that too truthful?
Hang on.
You just don't want to ride with somebody. Once you tell the truth, instead of lying, go to hell over it. I'd rather you tell the truth about it. I don't want to ride with you. Okay, then don't. Use your own gas. Okay, whatever. I mean, it's always bugged me that we've all, even when we do the alms trip to Crossroads. Now, some people were out the van, didn't have a car, or didn't want to pay for the gas, because the church would pay for gas. So hey, I want it. But people still want to drive by themselves and go do their own thing. And I understand not having a vehicle. You have to get in the van to go. So I understand all that. I mean, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me if one person drives a car, so you're not stuck somewhere. I mean, I get that. When we go to like men's retreat, and It's nice not to have to take the bus into town. You know, that's kind of nice. You know, but I'm just throwing it out there. I didn't mean to say that, but I mean, I hope that's plain enough. Because it's just, hey, that rim that rides together. That's because they don't want to drive after dark. It's 4:30. I ain't driving. But I just want to tell you, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I do love you, and I appreciate it. I want you to stay together. I need you to stay together. I need you to be part of one another and love each other and take care of each other. I need you to pray for one another and not hate on one another, but pray for each other. Listen, how can I sin against the Lord and fail to pray for you? That's scripture. How can I sin against the Lord to fail to pray for you? Okay. Now the preacher won't preach. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. I said Sunday morning. That's what I said Sunday morning. I listened to it, that's what I said. Okay? And so it was sad. I said, Lord have mercy, that is pitiful. Amen? But I talked to you about how what I tried to talk to you about was how to not just build on the failures and see how to get better. Remember? But build on the successes. If we're able in 4.5 years to get here, let's build on the successes we've had. Amen? And make it greater than where we're at today. Amen? Let's just not settle for getting better from our failure. But as we grow and get better, let's build on the better and make it great. And then after we build on the great, let's make it excellent. Amen? I want you to just turn with me to Genesis 1:1. If you can't find Genesis, you got more problems than I can help you with. Amen. Go to the table of contents and turn right. Amen. Amen. In the beginning. In the what? Beginning. At the start, right? Yeah. At the start, who? God created the heaven and the earth. Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, and it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. Keep going. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Someone said first day. First day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters from under the firmament from the waters, which were above the firmament, and it was also. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. Somebody says second day. Second day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let dry land appear, and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together the waters called seas, and God saw that it was good. Okay, stop it there, please. God in Genesis 1 through 4, he separated the light from the dark. In Genesis 6 through 8, he divided the waters from the firmament. In Genesis 1, 9 through 10, he divided the water from the earth. And so he changed all these things, and he said it was good. You with me? Verse 11. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass and herb yielding seed, and fruit of the tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. Now hang on just a minute. I could preach to you about after his kind, but I won't today. Because of the fruit, the tree bear fruit of his kind after his. We ain't going to go there today, but I'll bring it back to you some other time. And whose seed is in itself upon the earth, and it was so. Verse 12. Just put a little bookmark right there, because I'll come back to that. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind, and God saw that it was good. So God divided the earth, the light and the dark. He divided the firmament from the firmament. He made heaven, and he made the earth, and then he made the seas, and then he made the grass, and then he made all these things, and the fruit-yielding trees, and all that stuff, and it was good, and then it was good. So at the first it was good. The light being separated from the darkness was good. The firmament separated from the firmament was good. So God built upon good and made another thing good. You with me? You notice, go back to verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Have you ever noticed God? Have you ever known God to create anything that was without form and void?
No.
No. Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void. Now something was up. Because God makes things with a plan and a purpose. So something was up. And it says that darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Verse 3. And God said, let there be light. Hang on. God did not build upon, let's go on. Go to verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, let it divide the waters from the waters. Verse 7. Now hang on with me now just a minute. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. So he divided it. He divided the heaven, basically divided our atmosphere.
Yeah. Amen.
You with me?
Yes.
Okay. Our atmosphere, the heavenlies, the blue sky, and then the clouds. You ever notice that you have some clouds that are real high, some clouds that are real low? And they're going opposite directions. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Anybody ever look at the sky? Okay, it's big, it's blue. Okay, all right. And so you have some clouds are going this way really slow. You ever wonder why that is? And then some clouds are going the opposite way, like really fast. That's because there's a division up there. You ever been in a jet and they go higher because where they're at shaking the snot out of you? Like you're okay, like you're on an Oklahoma road. Okay. And so then he divided the atmospheres. You with me? Go with verse 8. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. Now on the second day he did something else. He separated the atmosphere. First he made dark and light. Then he made the atmospheres. Okay? So when he had this earth that was void and without form, he had to do something with it. And so he created light and dark, and he said, that's good. Light and dark are good. So let me build upon the good. He didn't build upon the void and the without form. He built on the good. Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
He built something on the good. He didn't build just any old thing. Now, yes, he had to do something with this world that was without form and void, and so he had to create something so it could create something out of this thing. So he had to create light and dark, which he did. He created light and dark, which was good. And then on that good, he created the firmament, which was the atmospheres, that was good. Then he created the grass, and he created the trees and all that stuff, which was good because he built that on the firmament, right? Okay. Hear me. If we don't have atmosphere, we don't have water.
That's right. That's right. That's it.
I don't know where y'all think rain and moisture come from, but there's not like a fairy that runs around and sprinkles it. Okay? So you have to have different atmospheres to cause different pressures and different moistures. Even when it didn't rain, it would come up. You guys, how many wipe your windshield every morning with your wipers because there's water on it? Amen? Now it didn't rain last night, but there was still water on my windshield this morning. Because that moisture, now I know there's moisture in the ground, I understand that, and we got all that, but if it was not for those atmospheres, that moisture would not be there because it's the pressure. And how many of y'all have stuff that aches before it rains? I don't, but hallelujah. Okay, and so you know it's going to rain because you go, right? Or, oh, my elbow, man, my elbow's killing me. I wish it would rain.
Yes, sir.
See, I don't have that, but I'm just telling you, I've seen that. And so that is the pressures that are causing that moisture to come up. So listen, he had to do something. He had to do something to that form, that formless, void earth. And so he created light and he created dark. Then he created the atmospheres, then he created the grass, because the atmospheres caused there to be water, caused there to be grass. And then after grass became trees. And he said it was good. So he built upon one thing with light and dark that was good. Then he built another thing with the firmament that was good. And then on the firmament he built the grass and the trees, which was good. Go with me now. Genesis 1, 14 through 18. 14 through 18. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven and divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Now listen to me. I can preach another sermon about that, but I'll come back to that, make a little mark there, because I'll come back to that later sometime. Okay, go to verse 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. Verse 16. And God made two great lights. The greater to rule the day, which is the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, which is the moon. Praise the Lord. And he made the stars also. Verse 17. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. Verse 18. To rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the night from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So what did he do? He built on another thing, and another thing, and another thing. Genesis 1, 20 through 22. Whew. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly. What? How? God don't do nothing halfway. God don't do nothing just barely making it. Oh, let the waters bring forth something. Let the scum come up. I'll let that stagnant water be all fuzzy. No, it said, bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life. Oh, that's a good place to shout. I don't even know where to shout right now. Okay, let the waters bring forth abundantly. How's he want us to bring? Abundant what? Abundant life. God said, let the waters bring forth abundant life, and fowl that may fly above the earth, and the open firmament of heaven. Verse 21. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which was the waters brought forth abundantly. That's a two abundantly. After their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Thank you for your help. That it was good. What was good? That the earth would start bringing abundantly things of life. So he started with this void, dead thing. Are you with me? Yeah. The water, I'm with you, baby. I'm with you. This dead, formless, void ball. Yeah. I guess it wasn't even a ball if it's formless, wasn't it? Whatever. This junk. This stuff. And God said, you know what I can do with that? I can make some light and dark out there. Boom! It was so. I can do with that light and dark. I can put an atmosphere in there. And I can make some stuff grow. Boom! It was so. I think I put some grass in there. Separate the seas and the earth. Yeah, I'll do that. That was good. Boom! Done. When I have the seas separated, I think I'm going to have some stuff come up abundantly out of some stuff. So this earthly thing that we have now, this thing right now that we live on, this ball right now that we live on, God had to speak into existence all these things. He spoke them into existence. Out of nothing, he spoke something. And when God begins to speak, abundant things happen. When God begins to speak into your life abundantly, things happen in your life. And things start to reproduce abundantly. I just want to share with you tonight, listen, we had a little bit of a drought with souls being saved, and I'm about sick of it.
Amen.
We're about a little bit of a sweat. We're getting real used to just coming to church and leaving.
Amen.
And I'm about to retch over it. That don't mean reach either. I mean retch. Hear me? We're getting real comfortable. Just giving our offering, coming to church and leaving. Well, praise God. Preacher on preacher, believe it will.
Come on, do it.
We get a little too comfortable for me. They're too chummy with our pew. Jesus himself came in here, you wouldn't get up. He sure wouldn't dance. Amen? Oh, Jesus was dancing, somebody might dance. I don't know. But we get a little too comfortable for me, a little too quiet for me. A little too used to things the way they are. Hey, all's good, the bills are paid. Dogs got food, cats got milk, fish got water. Everything's good. Bills paid, babies are all right, everything's good. So why do I don't need God right now. That's the time you need to praise him the greatest.
Amen.
When everything's good. Listen, don't you get tired of asking God for stuff and just saying, God, instead of just saying, God, thank you for the stuff I got.
Amen.
I get a little weary of Christian folks, and I'm not pointing any fingers or looking at anybody. I get tired of Christian folks always begging for stuff and never thanking him for the stuff they got. We got more stuff than we need. We got more stuff than we need.
Come on, come on.
But we, hallelujah, sure know how to ask God for more. But when he gives us more, we forget all about thanking him for it. Well, I didn't mean to say all that either. I didn't know the notes. Here we go. Verse 22. I'll get off of it. Verse 22, if you will, please. And God blessed them, saying, bless 2. Go back to 21. 21, thank you. And everything, God created great whales. He knew he was going to have to swallow Jonah up. And every living creature that moveth, which was the waters, brought forth abundantly after their kind. And every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Verse 22. Verse 20. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. Now that sounds to me like a God who likes abundance, who likes things to multiply, who likes things full, who likes things not to just simply just sit around and just be comfortable. But something that's already, listen, something that's already there, he said, you know what, I want to bless you. Go ahead and multiply. Go ahead and give me some abundant return on this. Listen, God wants abundant return on what he's blessed you with.
Amen.
He's blessed you with some mighty things, and he wants an abundant return. Whoa! It was an abundant return on the blessings he's given you. What talent do you have? God wants a return on your talents. He didn't just give you a talent so you'd have one, so you could sing real pretty and you could make a joyful noise unto the Lord. He asked for a return on that. He didn't give you a business mind so you could work yourself to death for somebody else. He gave you a business mind so you could be prosperous and have your own business, and so that you could somebody help me. I know that's crazy talk.
It's true.
But if Craig Froelich can do an enviro, so can Jim Lozier.
Yes, he can. Yeah. Come on, come on.
I'm just saying. The only difference between Jesus. Verse 24. I just tired of y'all acting like you ain't got nothing to give. You ain't got nothing to give nobody. Yes, you do. You've got something to share with the world. God has given you a mind. Listen, you're going to have to work. I know I go out there and cuss right in church, didn't I? You're going to have to work. That's a four-letter word. Work, work, work. I said it. You're going to have to work. I don't nobody wants, listen, everybody wants the manna to fall in the house and fall on the stove and cook itself. God didn't tell nobody, I'll give you all the manna you want. He said, I'll give it to you if you go get it. But we got to get in the mode of going to get it. We got to understand, we got to go get the stuff that God gives us. We can't just sit around and hope that somebody might make a mistake. And I hear preachers preach this stuff, and that just makes me mad. And they preach this stuff like, they say stuff like, there's going to be $1 million mistake in your favor. That drives me crazy. Somebody's going to accidentally pay your mortgage off. The bank's going to make it. You still owe it, fool. I'm not supposed to say that, am I? You still owe it, individual. I just don't think God's in the business of making you a crook. But that's just my opinion.
That's right.
You can get mad at me if you want to. If God wants to pay something off for you, then He can allow you the means to pay it off yourself.
That's
right. Yeah.
Some girl will get fired because you want your mortgage paid off. Because she made $1 million mistake. Some of them have to pay for it.
Amen. That's right.
I know that ain't popular preaching, especially on a Wednesday night when you're trying to get out of here for New Year's Eve. I understand that. That's not popular preaching for anybody. I understand that. And listen, don't get offended at me. I understand what those men are trying to say, and I get it. But when they say things like that, people run with it and try to find some way to cheat somebody out of something and say, God bless me. That ain't right.
No, it isn't.
Okay. I'll take my glasses off so I can't see you. 24:25. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beasts of the earth after his kind, and it was so. 25. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Good. So I have yet to see God build on something that wasn't good. Verse 26. I'm about to hush, so y'all be all right. I'm all right. I'm about to hush. 26. And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. And so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. 28. And God blessed them and said unto them, barely make it and struggle all your life. And maybe someday you'll return back to dirt. Oh, no. I couldn't say I have my glasses. Be fruitful. I was just going by what people do. Be fruitful and multiply. And replenish the earth and subdue it. Subdue it. What does that mean? To have dominion over it. To have control over it. Subdue it. And have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Now listen, you may be a global warming freak, I don't know. But if this is global warming, then sign me up. I like it being 65 and 70 in December. You may not like it, that's fine with me. I should have said freak, I apologize. But listen, you may believe that global warming thing all you want to believe, but this planet is going to be all right until God gets done with it. Amen. If we had to make it 1 degree hotter, we couldn't do it. If the earth was going to blow up unless we got it 1 degree hotter, then we wouldn't be able to do it. So it just drives me crazy. And so people go, hey, whatever. Verse 29. 29. Now I'll shut up. I'll get off my soapbox. God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, and in which the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. 20, 39, 30, whatever. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, to everything that creepeth upon the face of the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. Verse 31. And God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day. You said, well, Brother Jeff, why you say all that? This is why I said all that. Everything that God, now I can see you. Oh, okay. Okay. Everything that I said that God did, he built an earth that was without form and void. And God said, I got to do something about this. And so he did something that was good. The earth was now good. Everything he did was good. Everything he built on was good. Now all of a sudden, after he did all that, what's the last thing he made? Man. He made them both, male and female. And he gave them what? Dominion or control or domination over everything that he had created. Are you with me now? Come on now. Every good thing that he had created, he made man and women dominion over it to do what? To use it for what purpose? Go back to 28, I believe it is. He blessed them and said unto them, be and multiply and do what? Replenish. So everything that he did, he made all things good. You want to review? I know y'all don't want to because y'all want me to hurry up. I got you. But I can't review. But he said everything that he made, everything he did, every step, he built. This was good. 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 And he built on the good. And then when he got man created and women created and gave them dominion over everything that was good, and he said everything is very good. So can I share with you, if we will continue to build on the good, if we will continue to build on the good, everything builds upon itself and until it is very good. It is very good when we build on good and not on failure. He never one time built on the void and formless stuff. He did something so it would not be void and formless. He brought it from void and formless into something with the dark and the light. Yeah, come on with me. Now everything builds upon itself until it's very good. Good becomes very good. Come on, write this down because you need to remember this. Good becomes very good when men take their place in the plan of God. Listen, when we take our place in the plan of God, that's when good becomes very good. That's when very good becomes excellent. I wanted to read it out of the Amplified Bible. I think I forgot my phone. The Amplified Bible says it this way. He says it this way. Not just very good, but with his approval.
Come on.
With his approval. You want your life to have the stamp of God's approval? Then you need to get what God is doing, what he said he would do, and he put you in the plan of God. And when you're building on good things, all of a sudden, you find yourself in very good with his approval. All of a sudden, you find yourself in a place you never thought you would be. My life was without form and it was void. And light came into my life. Do you see how the Bible speaks of Jesus all the way through it?
Amen.
He's the light of the world.
Amen.
And when the light came into this world, it changed this world. Ow! Do you see that he said, I'm the light of the world? You see when that baby came from heaven and validates it. It's another one. Validates it. Stamp of approval. He'll validate you. But don't you see when that baby came and he was born into this earth? That the light of the world came into this earth? Don't you see that every step of Jesus is mentioned in the Old Testament? Don't you understand he's the Ark of Noah?
Amen.
He's the staircase.
Come on.
He's the fire of Elijah.
Amen.
Don't you understand who he is? That every place in the New Testament you can go, there's a Jesus mentioned. There's a mention of Jesus. I know it's types and shadows. You got to study it. You got to find it for yourself.
That's right. Amen.
He's a wheel in the middle of a wheel.
Amen.
He's a coat of many colors.
Come on, preach it. Amen.
Oh, dear God in heaven. He's Malachi's sacrifice. Come on, somebody.
That's right. Come on, preach it.
He's that Ark of the Covenant. He's David's sling and David's rock. I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you. He stood between that crowd and that woman who was caught in the very act of adultery. That rock stood between them, her and the stones. Come on, somebody. He's that very rock. Come on, he is. That's who he is. In every part of the Old Testament, you find a shadow and a type of Jesus. Amen?
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
He's Abraham's sacrifice instead of Isaac. God in heaven. I don't know how you sit there. He's Moses' staff. Don't you understand who he is? He's the light. And that light that so shines so brightly will one day change this planet. Listen, God's a bad boy. When Jesus came to this earth, he split time in half. Come on, somebody. He split time, BC and AD. Come on now. Now they want to change it to BCE, before Common Era. And they want CE, Common Era. But you know what? It still splits when he came. It don't matter what they call it. It matters what happened when he came. Amen? God's a bad boy. He split time in half. Dear God in heaven. That's just amazing to me. BCE, before Common Era. I don't care what they call it. It still started when Jesus came on the... It still start the time watch whenever he came. They can call it whatever they want. But we know where the dividing line comes from, don't we? The devil's so dumb. And those that work with him are so stupid. Oh, I know. We'll take Christ out of this thing. We'll call it before Common Era. But it's still the same time. He still split it. He's still the one. He's still it. He's it. Why do they call it before Common Era? Because it was before Jesus came on the planet. Why do they call it the Common? Because he left. Hallelujah. Ignorance. Just call it before Christ. And everybody says it's after death, but it's really not after death. It's a Greek word. It's two words. It means thank you. I couldn't remember off the top of my head what it meant. What the words were. But it still means the same thing after death. I understand why people say that. But hear me for just a second. I'll leave you alone. It's after 8 o'clock. They're going to be yelling at me because they didn't get kids home. But listen to me. Hear me. If we're going to be the church that God's called us to be, we need to build on the good, not the bad.
Amen. Yes, amen.
Look where you came from. Look where you're at today. Look where God has taken you from, where God's brought you to. Look at your leadership, how you used to lead, how you lead now. Come on now. Look at how you used to see God and how you see God now. Did you used to see God as some old white dude in heaven that beat you in the head every time you did something wrong? Because he hated you? And now you see him as your Father who loves you. No matter what you do, he still loves you. Do you know that you can't make God love you any more than he loves you right now? You can't make him hate you any worse. He's never hated you. He doesn't hate you at all. He never has hated you. He hates the sin in our lives. And the reason he came was to change and transform our lives. That's why he came. But as we are dismissed tonight, stand here for you. I challenge you to review tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day of the year. Review tomorrow the blessings of your life. Review the negative things that happen in your life. And I promise you, even if you have a big list of negatives, you can look and see where God brought you through every one of them.
Amen.
Your church family helped you through every one of them. If I didn't have God, where would I be? I would have lost my mind. I would have gone stirred back crazy right here. I would have lost it right here. And I was in so much pain, I would have lost my mind, but God brought me through. I didn't have no place to stay, but God helped me out. And I didn't have a car, but God found a way. I didn't have a job, now I got two. Come on, somebody.
Come on.
Just look at your life and review. Review your life. Every year you ought to check your life out and say, what has God done for me? And if you'll do that, Sunday morning you'll come in here shouting, I promise you. Amen. I love you guys.
Thank you, Jesus.
I'm not done, but I'm going to quit.